the films I grew up loving were like shot on Kodak. So I fought really hard that we shot this on Kodak with Panavision lenses.
Kodak is the go-to name in the film industry.
All those films you love and you grew up with that have that certain look that's really hard to describe, it's because it was shot on Kodak. The way film stock works is it's not a perfect representation of reality. It's a better version of reality. I've always been chasing that aesthetic as a filmmaker, to be able to sit in the grade and play with the colours and try to get the look of the film stock that we grew up with.
But the colours are more sophisticated. There's more fidelity in the colours. You know, the greens of the jungles really come through.
It takes contrast and does things with them that make it look better than when you were stood there. You stood in Thailand, this amazing place you shoot on film, and then you look at the dailies and it looks even better.
There's a mystery to the process of film because you don't exactly know what you're capturing.
Okay, cut, very good.
Working with Jurassic World Rebirth was fantastic, and it was great that they chose to shoot film. It's great that a big studio and filmmakers are still able to choose film, even if it's a heavy-laden VFX project like Jurassic.
I'd rather start with a canvas, a beautiful image, and paint on top of that. Having the film stock and the film veneer and grain and these really beautiful wide anamorphic, distorted lenses to work with has been really beautiful. It's something to help us bed the visual effects and the creatures into. How much bowing and distortion and stretching of the image happens towards the edge, all sorts of chromatic aberration that happens to the highlights, and make sure that when we add digital elements into the frame, that we can sample that and put it all back on.
You'll see it on film and it'll add such texture to the visuals.
It's just a lot easier to make film look great. So you're already at a really good starting place, you know, before you do everything else.
It just shows that film is still capable of handling the latest of what technology can still offer.
This whole sequence, it's why you come to see a Jurassic film. I think you want to be scared. I really wanted some visual in the movie that felt familiar.
The idea here is that putting the dinosaurs into our environment, someplace that we traditionally feel safe, is exciting and scary.
The gas station is probably the bit that just feels like something reminiscent of your home life, where there's snacks and magazines on the shelf.
This gas station is supposed to be like old abandoned kind of feeling. You can kind of see the lights are flickering. It's very full. It takes me more back to like the first Jurassic Park.
As absurd as it might feel, Jurassic, there's something about it that feels really natural. And the second these creatures turn up, you're like, I've always expected this moment. I knew it was coming. And you hold on to your loved ones because this thing's going to kill either you or them.
Ready, guys?
Let's go.
The beginning was a conversation. Would you be excited to write the score of a Jurassic movie? And I said, wow, that's a challenge. The history of this incredible franchise, and above all that, it's John Williams, my forever idol. Flutes, make sure it's... I wake up and I want to write music. That's what I love. It's just a joy for me. As John Williams would say, it's infinite, the possibilities of an orchestra. Beautiful. Thank you very much. At some moments, the music is so loud and so strong and dynamic, they will feel it. The audience will feel it for sure.
Action!
I basically got into film school. I thought that would be the way into filmmaking because you don't know what else to do. So I got a place in film school, and then the summer I went was the summer Jurassic Park came out in the cinema, and it changed everything. And it was clear that computer was going to be part of filmmaking from now on. So I bought a computer, I learned how to do dinosaurs in my bedroom and things, and then ended up getting sidetracked massively for 15 years in a career doing visual effects. And I thought, oh no, I've wasted my life kind of thing. And then it turns out, having that skill set, it used to be like, you know, directors would come in from, everyone's on a different path through the film industry. Some people pick the camera, you know, some people pick writing, some people are editing. And at some point, you know, if you're trying to become a director, it's like, which path do you pick? And I'd ended up in visual effects. And so I thought, oh no, this was a dead end. This was a stupid thing to get into. And then it turns out when you know, these giant blockbusters, understanding visual effects is a really valid skill set, you know, and really helps you. And so it turned out, I made my first film. It was actually basically an audition, a calling card. It was a monster movie set in, you know, Central America, and it was me trying to like show I could do something a little bit like Jurassic Park and that. I never expected in my life that that would eventually lead to being, you know, we just had the premiere for the movie, and it's a very, very surreal thing.
He's such a gentle person, and like really, you know, I think has huge admiration for performance, and you know, he came on as a fan as well, which I think is a great place to start, because we all have deep respect for, you know, all the source material, and we come at it from a place of like wanting to pay homage to work that we love, you know. So it was great to be. Then you're like never jaded, you know, because you're always kind of in awe of the environment you're working in. And Gareth was really like that. He always was like, he's always in a good mood, enthusiastic, lots of like such a good energy, because he was, you know, like, it's your dream has come true.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's in the same way, well, for all of us, but, you know, he's the perfect director for this movie. He's spent his whole life studying film, and he was saying that even before the opportunity arose, he'd been watching Jurassic Park, just taking notes, just to understand, you know, obviously Spielberg's one of his huge idols, but with the work he did in Monsters, which he did before having studio backing, was doing with, you know, consumer grade equipment, is like extraordinary. And you can see the identity in that filmmaking process then all the way through. And so to give him the keys to Jurassic Park was just like a brilliant idea. And he's just nabbed it.
Yeah, he delivered it.
He delivered.
Dad!
Very good and cut.
I think truly in this film, like the fact that we are in these real locations and everything you're seeing is real besides the dinosaurs, and it's all caught on film. So it's like you're there. It's like it's the most like real and grounding, and that's what's so amazing about the original Jurassic, is the fact that it is on film. It was shot in Hawaii, and you get that sense of like, I'm there and I'm with them. And that's what I feel also you get in this movie. It's just that sense of like realism and like security that, you know, you haven't seen in a while.
I'm really grateful for it, because it really helps you as an actor to be in the atmosphere, you know, in the actual location where you have all these elements that you're really suffering or playing with or reacting to. You know, the heat is real heat, and the mosquitoes and the animals. We're sitting, first scene that we did, it was a scene right in the middle of the jungle with the whole family, and in Thailand it's clear, and then all of a sudden it pours rain, and, you know, we had nowhere to hide, and we were sitting in the, you know, we're on the set, and spiders, we kept jumping and looking like, I don't know, it just brings your instincts, you know? So that helps a lot. So as an actor, you know, sometimes you have to use the green screen, and that's fine, but I really appreciate when they do, and it looks better, you know. I mean, Thailand, the scenery is just incredible. It is really incredible.
This sort of an adventure has got plenty of challenges. If your cast, your colleagues, were not as superb, supportive, and talented as these guys were, it would be really very, very tough. To look to your left and right and just see the best of the best makes you bring your A game. I think it makes you feel safe enough to take risks. And you form this kind of collective, because not only were we in these quite grueling environments, but most of the film we were imagining. And that's an interesting challenge. It's part of our job, but it is a challenging part of the job, and it's enormously helped by having Scarlett and Jonathan and Mahershala.
You have such little real estate to hook the audience, you know, and into the character, you know, and take them along for the journey, so they care about the outcome of the film, or outcome of the characters' lives in the film. That you have to make it count. And I think it was important for me that the character felt like someone who was a sum of all their parts, and, you know, had like lived a life and had hopes and dreams for herself and desires, you know, like moving forward, and that she could see like a future for herself based on like what she had experienced, you know. That stuff is so important to know. But again, not that much time to do it in.
But I think that's something that Scarlett led everyone with, because not only in terms of just leading the film in itself and us being on set, but that sort of level of groundedness in the character. I think there's a scene with her and Mahershala that I absolutely love, where all that, actually, even in the first scene where you see you in the car, spoiler alert, she gets in the car, but the sort of humanity and the real stakes for Zora is just so present, and I think it's down to Scarlett really for setting that tone, I think.
Understanding what's really hard in the computer and really easy, and what's really hard in filming on production and really easy, and knowing those differences, I think it's really useful, because essentially what you're doing when you're making a film is saying, let's not try and film that would be a nightmare. We'll do that with computer graphics because it's a lot easier. And let's not try and do that in computer graphics because it's a nightmare. We're gonna really shoot it. And when you get that balance right, I think everything runs a lot smoother. And just knowing, like, you're shooting and you know how hard or easy it is to get rid of something or change something that's in the picture. And so you can shoot something and confidently go, it's fine, keep going, you know, and you don't have to stop and move things. And so it's weird because, you know, these big, massive movies now have a visual effects count of 1,500 shots on average. Jurassic Park, the original, had 60. But what's happening is there's just a little bit of blue screen behind a window or something like this, and so suddenly 200 more shots arrive because you've got to, like, put the sky in or something like this. And so we just lean on it more and more. It's just part of the tool of filmmaking. And I think that's great. You know, I feel like there's this weird thing that happens with filmmakers where, because of digital technology, you can now do anything you can imagine, right? But if you look at the timeline of cinema, Jurassic Park kind of was the beginning of real big CGI blockbusters, and I feel like it was a classic film, but most of my favorite films were before then, and when you couldn't do everything you could imagine, and so that's a great lesson as a film director, and to quote the movie, just because you could doesn't mean you should. It's like how to be restrained with these really great tools, and how to, like, use the audience's imagination and hide things, and you know, like, build on those big reveals. And so it's when you've got all these amazing tools, it's very tempting to just use them all the time. And storytelling isn't really about that. Storytelling's about what you don't say or see, and how you hold back. So that's like a great lesson from, like, Jurassic Park original, I think.